again, people. Well, this is an interesting little case here. People have sent me this and told me that you don't need a driver's license, and the courts have ruled, and you don't have to comply, and it's free commerce, and I hear this shit all the time. And look, I would love if all you guys that are saying this, if it was true, but it ain't true. And this guy, in my opinion, is lucky he didn't get a shootout and die this day. I've also commented on his thing saying, hey, I'd like to discuss this. You can reach me at Horsey Mail or Horsey Guy at Hotmail, but I don't know if he'll contact me or not. Guy's name is Berris, or Frank Berris, and I'm gonna pop through his video. If you want to go watch it, you can. But this guy is extremely lucky to me, and I have no idea why these cops back down.
Your passport?
You got my passport, dude.
I don't have your passport.
Those gentlemen do have my passport. The Highway Patrol do.
Okay.
Highway Patrol, how about bring the passport so I can...
Okay, so this guy keeps it pretty level most of his conversation. So he did good there. He didn't get in a fight. And these cops keep it pretty level. And they don't go out. They almost went to, we're going to bust his door. And I'll tell you how I would have handled this, but let's...
Read it to the sheriff. Could you be so kind?
So, if you come out and explain to me your passport, I'll hear your side of it.
You've already heard my side. I've already told you my side.
Well, you can explain your passport to me.
I don't need to explain it. You should know this as a LEO, shouldn't you?
I've never seen your passport.
Well,
so a passport is considered a government-issued ID. When you're required to ID yourself, you really don't even have to give a passport. You can just say, hey, my name is so-and-so. And if you don't lie, that's identifying yourself. But a passport is a government-issued ID, and it's the same as a driver's license or a government-issued ID card. Even a Social Security card doesn't have your picture, can be used as ID because I can run you through Social Security number and get a match on you. So him giving him the passport is IDing. But most states, and I'm not sure what state he was in. I don't know if he put it in the comments. Most guys that do these videos don't put a whole bunch of the comments. Ignorance fed by ego. Okay, so not much information here. So I'm not sure what state he was in, what their law is, but almost all states, if you drive, you're required by law, by statute, to provide a driver's license. If you don't, you can be arrested and your car can be towed. Period. I mean, just about in every state out there. So he ID'd with a passport, but he didn't ID with a driver's license. And I'm pretty sure his position is going to be, I'm a citizen, I'm in free commerce, I'm not working in commerce, I'm traveling, I have a right. Great. I would love it if that's the law, but it ain't. And I still say this guy's lucky. He's not smart. A lot of people are saying he's smart. I'm telling you, if you try to do what he does with a lot of cops, you're getting yanked out of the car. And if you threaten to shoot cops, you're getting gun screwed in your ear. And if you make a move, they're probably going to shoot and kill you, especially with our out-of-control cops now.
I don't know what to tell you. We'll sit here all goddamn night. But
So he'll sit here all night, but he's going to yell he's free to go and he's free to drive. I don't get that.
I'm getting out of this goddamn private automobile.
Okay, when you refuse to get out of a car, look, I don't like the MIMS decision that cops can get you out of the car whenever they want. I think it's a bullshit decision. And it kind of goes further, but it's been warped into, if a cop asks you out, you got to get out. The MIMS decision says if he has a reason to get you out, but cops just say, officer safety had a reason. He was suspicious. So there's always going to be a reason. It's like a cop stopped me on a traffic stop. Well, he can't do that unless he's got a reason. Well, the vehicle code has thousands of violations. You can't start your car and sit in it without committing a violation. So to say that the cop can't stop you without reason, he's got reason. And to say he can't get you out of the car because MIMS says he has to have a reason, he's going to have a reason. This is why I'm always calling for accountability of cops, and they have to be held accountable when they violate the laws that are out there. Now they violate them with impunity because DAs won't charge them, and they can't be sued.
To explain myself, that I've already done. I'm asserting my rights to travel, and I'm informing you that you have no jurisdiction or authority over me.
Okay, that may sound good, and someone may go, man, that's a lot. I'm sorry. I don't. I've had people say all kind of crazy shit on traffic stop. Doesn't matter.
And you're not trying to accept it. Ask the guy to pull me over to get it. I'll show it to you.
Now, I believe they are trying to trick him out of the car here to get out of the car. And then they're going to say, you don't have a license. We're going to tow your car. And then if you try to resist or do something, they would arrest you. I get that's what they were trying to do. But that's going to be the end result anyway if they wanted to. These cops absolutely had every right to order this guy out, bust this window, yank his butt through the freaking thing. I'm not saying I agree with it. I know I'm going to have people come here. You're a tyrannical cop. You're you're just as bad. Whatever. I'm telling you within the law. If you don't like the law, then stop representing or stop electing these idiots that won't change the law. But right now, that's the law. And I don't mind holding cops accountable when they don't follow the law, but when they follow the law and you guys don't like it, well, whatever. I'm going to back the cops because we can only do so much. You want us to change the law, ignore the law. You want us to follow your law. You want us to follow the fed law, the state law, the county law, whichever one fits your agenda. That's the law you want us to follow. And when we don't, somehow you want to call us a tyrant.
It's real simple. This is real simple. You're making it difficult.
It is real simple. You're driving a car. You refuse to have a driver's license. You're saying you don't have a driver's license. You're not allowed to drive on the roadway without a driver's license. You can't even register a car without a driver's license. And now you're refusing to give us your driver's license. Therefore, you ain't driving away. And if you try to drive away, we're going to box your car. We're going to flatten your car. We're going to pursue you. Sooner or later, you're going to run out of gas. You're going to get out of this car. And we're going to arrest you. And if I think you're a danger or you start threatening to shoot me, now we're going to escalate it to a new level. I know I'm going to sound like a jackboot to a lot of you guys, and a lot of you guys are going to think this guy is the smartest guy in the world. I'm telling you, he is the luckiest guy in the world in my book.
I don't feel that I am.
Well,
I'm the one making it difficult right now.
right.
This cop has a shaved head, too. I think he's bald-headed, and he's actually pretty reasonable. He's a sergeant, too.
Because I won't do what you ask. I don't have to do what you ask. You have zero authority over me.
Okay, here we go with this zero authority. Cops don't have... Well, there's plenty of people in jail. There's plenty of people that go into court and tell a judge, you have zero authority, me, bitch, and they're in jail. Well, guess what? You're in court, and now you're in jail. So you can say that nobody has authority over you, but your ass is going to jail. We live in a time where the government can take your ass into custody, shoot you, and put you in jail. And they really don't have to justify it. I'm not saying I like it. That's how we live. And this guy's lucky.
I don't contract with foreign corporations. No authority, no jurisdiction. There's nothing in any law.
How's it a contract for you to get out of your vehicle and explain your passport to me?
I don't need to do any of that.
I agree with this guy. If that's the only reason you want me to get out, I can explain it here and I gave you my passport. I'm with the guy. He doesn't need to get out of the car. They're trying to trick him out. So I'm with him on that point. The problem is he didn't have a driver's license. He's not allowed to drive. And the fact that they let him drive away without a driver's license, every ticket that they give another citizen should be challenged and thrown out with this video. So I got no problem with using this video to get other people out of tickets because I hate ticket writing cops. But this guy's lucky. I don't know if I said that.
And I'm trying to explain to you, I don't need to do any of that.
I'm not saying you're...
Go get the passport, bud, and I will read it to you.
I was asking you to do
I am asking you to go get my passport, and I will read it to you. How about that?
Maybe he's not bald. He just kind of cut it short. Sorry, short haircut dude. I thought you were a shaved head. I am tough guy.
Kinds of sense, but you ain't ready for that, are you?
We're in a bind then.
Okay, we're in a bind.
I want you to get out and explain it to me.
I'm not getting out of this.
See, this cop's beating around a bush. I want you to get out and explain to him instead of just saying, dude, you got to get out of the car. We're towing your car. You're not allowed to drive.
Not happening. So ask them gentlemen politely, sirs, highway patrolmen.
So you got the sheriff and the highway patrol out here. Now, somebody's going to say that he's lucky, and here's the decision on why I think this happened. Most of the people are going to believe that he was let go because he was right. I'm telling you, he ain't right, and he's lucky. The reason I think they let him go is they were like, do we really want to get in a shooting? We know who this guy is. He's given up his passport. Let's just let him go. We're not going to escalate. It's not the end of the world. We'll go back, write out the incident. He drove in front of us without a license. He refused to get out of the car. We're going to write up a warrant for resisting arrest, obstruction, driving a vehicle without a driver's license. We'll put a warrant in the system, and next time we stop him, we'll arrest him. Or we'll follow him, and when he gets out of his car to go to the store, we'll arrest him for the warrant. That's what I think they did. He's really no danger to the public, except when he said, I'm going to shoot it out. You give cops a reason to say, hey, I thought he was a danger to the public. When he mentioned shooting it out, and at some point in here he does, that's where most cops would have went, oh, now you just gave them permission to go, hey, I'm afraid for other people's safety. This guy's willing to shoot it out over a ticket, over a driving ticket. No, we can't let him go. That's a danger to the public. I think it's bullshit. I don't think this guy's a danger to the public. I think he's just asserting his rights and he's wrong, but I mean, more power to him. I wish everybody did this. If everybody did it, we live in a voluntary compliance society. When the masses stop voluntary complying for our system, the system breaks, because the government's supposed to work for us and be run by us, for the people, by the people.
May I please have my passport to read to the sheriff?
They're not going to give it back to you until...
They're not going to give it back to me. So you're telling me the Highway Patrol in Wyoming has...
Oh, we're in Wyoming. I must have missed that.
Stole my private property. Is that what you guys...
First of all, it's not theft because you gave it to them. Now, when you ask for it back, we could get into issues, but they're going to hold it to try to get you out of the car. Or they're going to say, we'll give it back. You know, you can get into this word game. I'm not stealing it. I'm just holding it till you get out of the car and come get it. If you don't want to get out of the car and come get it, then you're allowing me to keep it. And then you go back and forth with these word games, and you know, it just goes nowhere. But whatever, some play it, some don't.
No, it's not a claim, sir. That's another matter of fact of law. Does that passport belong to any of you? Does that passport belong to any of you?
Actually, if I take your ass into custody, it is in my custody, and I'll book it in the evidence. So yes, it does belong to me when I take you into custody. And then we go in, what are you going to take me into custody for? You have no jurisdiction over me. And it just goes around and around and around. I'm telling you, this guy's lucky.
The answer is no. And if you're not giving that back to me, which is my said possession, what is that called? What's that?
See, I'm not going to, I don't play these. You're going to try and play word games and get me to debate the law on the side of the road, because to be honest, it doesn't matter what you or me say anyway. The DAs and the lawyers and the judges and the appeal courts and the Supreme Court can change everything that we're talking about the next day. So it's really a moot point. Right here, right now, I stopped you. You don't have a driver's license. You're required to in a state. I can't let you drive off. I can stop you. I can get you out of the car. I can use force to remove you from this car. I think these cops just said, you know what? We know who this guy is. Let's just get a warrant later. Let him go so we don't end up getting a shooting, have to kill him, or some of us get hurt. It's just not worth it. He's not a danger to the public for this shit. And I think that was the decision to let him go. But I can almost guarantee you they probably put a warrant out for his ass after this. Maybe they didn't. If he comes on, I can ask all these questions.
What's that called? As LEOs, you should know what that's...
Let me know.
That's called theft. Okay? So, young man, may I have my passport, please?
Okay. When you start calling a young man kind of being condescending, you're kind of escalating. Look, I don't care. This cop is doing a good job on not taking it personal and not making this into a big beef. So I got to give the cops credit. This guy's being pretty good. He's being pretty respectful. So, I mean, that's why I think this thing didn't escalate.
Please to read to the sheriff.
Okay, the only way you're getting your...
Okay, so this guy comes over and tries to play the hard rule, but he doesn't. He doesn't do it real good. He doesn't back it up.
passport is once you step out of this vehicle.
Why do you want me out of this vehicle so bad, you guys?
Because there is state law, case law, Pennsylvania versus...
Case law is not...
Pennsylvania versus Mims is the law. It says cops can ask you out if they're doing an investigation or if they have a reason, blah, blah, blah. Pretty much cops now just say, I want you out of the car. Mims says I can do it. Get out of the car. And it's being abused and not used like it should be. And nobody's enforcing it because DAs don't care to enforce it on cops.
Not law. That's where you're wrong again. Case law ain't law.
Okay.
Well, there are millions of people every day that are arrested or detained, searched by case law. There's case law that covers warrants. There's case law that covers arrest warrants, search warrants. And he's going to say case law. So, you may think you're smart and you're going to play lawyer on the side of the road with cops that aren't going to push the issue and think that you won. And this video may get a lot of other people to say, man, I'm going to do like this guy. I'm telling you, if you do like this guy, I'm going to say there's a 98%, if not 99% chance you're getting taken out of the car forcibly and you're getting arrested for resisting, obstruction, failure to follow an order, all the bullshit. I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm just telling you what's going to happen.
Not even close. What you guys need to do is understand that I am correct. You have...
Actually, I don't need to do anything you say, and I know somebody's going to say I'm a tyrannical thug, but This is not the place to fight. This is the same thing I say about every case where people are refusing to comply. You go to court, you get you an attorney, you represent yourself, you fight it out in court. If you do it on the side of the road, the odds are the cops are going to use force. You're going to end up dead. Cops are going to end up with a riot. They're going to, the media will be spinning it. The government will be spinning it, and you won't accomplish a damn thing except you're dead shot or have your ass whipped and you're sitting in jail. Guy's lucky.
You have no authority over me. None. I don't have to get out of this private automobile.
Well, obviously you already submitted to my authority because you stopped, okay? So once you stopped and yielded for my lights, you submitted to my authority and you're technically detained. So anything after that can be considered obstruction. You can't claim that I didn't know. Why did you stop? If nobody has authority over you, why did you stop?
Oh, I don't have to obey your corporate bylaw speed limits?
Okay, let me just explain this to you. You're not leaving here until you step out of the vehicle.
That was a false statement because they let this guy leave. Now, this guy is correct, and I'm telling you, here's where I'm going to get some serious hate. This guy would not have left if this was my stop. Now, if I called a supervisor and a supervisor said, let him go, perfect. I don't give a shit. But I did not let people dictate and change the freaking law and debate on the side of the road every time. I don't know why they stopped him. I don't know whether he doesn't have license plates, he doesn't have registration, insurance, bald tires, he was driving dangerous speed. I have no idea any of that because we don't get any of that. But this guy wouldn't have left if I had a lawful reason to stop him. Sorry. I know you're going to call me a jackpoo. It's just the way it is.
Then I ain't leaving.
You got that right.
I am not going anywhere. And your threats don't mean jack to me, bud.
Okay, so there's a difference between a threat and telling you what's going to happen. Okay, if I say, look, I'm going to arrest you if this doesn't happen, and I have the lawful right to do that, and it's going to happen, so why don't you just do this? No, you got no authority over me. Then I arrest you? That's not a threat. A threat is something to say that you might do or that you possibly do. When I tell you I'm going to do something and I have the right to do it, and cops have the right to do a lot of shit. And they got government backing. And they got immunity so you can't sue them. And they got DAs that are going to back them up because government protects government. So you need to pick your battles. And if this was the hill that this guy wanted to die on, then good for him.
Well, it's not a threat.
To hell if it ain't. You're threatening me to get out of this vehicle so you...
So now he's kind of raising his voice and getting excited. So this comes into articulation. Hey, when we were dealing with the guy, it was calm. All of a sudden, he got really angry. He started raising his voice, using profanity. And I felt that my safety was in danger. He already said he had weapons in the car. He refused to come out. He even threatened to use those weapons against us. At that point, we put spike strips on the car. We blocked the car in. We backed away. We called for the SWAT team. And we held him at gunpoint, trying not to escalate things. That's how this could have went. I'm telling you, this guy's lucky.
You can try to kidnap me. Meanwhile, you've stolen my property, and he can't even admit that.
It's the property
You can't claim something stolen if you give it voluntarily. He gave it to him. See, he keeps saying they have no authority. He stopped. He gave him his passport, and now he's claiming they have no authority or no rule over him.
United States government, actually, sir.
No, it is not.
Yes, sir.
What is possession?
It's
See, here we go. We want to get into word games. Yo, motherfucker. My name ain't Alexa. I ain't answering your questions.
I know you can't argue with me because you don't know the law.
So this is a good way to kind of get a cop to get his ego and get his... I mean, look, if you poke a bear and a bear swipes out at you, you can't be mad at the bear. Government should not be swiping back. We shouldn't be reactive. These cops did not react to all of his abrasive threats, comments, whatever it is. These cops did a good job by not escalating this, which is why I say this guy's lucky, because these cops could have escalated this and this guy would have lost. Raise your hand if you think this guy was so tough that he would have got his gun out and killed all these cops and he would have been able just to drive away with his passport. Raise your hand. Well, that's because you're an idiot.
Possession is 9/10 of it, correct?
all I said was...
Huh?
All I said... When I stopped you, I didn't say you're getting a ticket. I never said you're getting a ticket. I just want you to step out so we can talk face to face.
We are talking face to face.
Out of your vehicle.
No, I'm not getting out of my private automobile.
People will confuse this that if you don't get out for the cops, they'll let you go. I'm telling you, this is not normal.
This ain't a vehicle. Okay?
What is it then?
It's a private automobile.
Vehicle, private automobile, car, truck, four-wheel drive. It's a Lexus 424 with a 240. I mean, come on, really? I mean, this is why you don't get in. I've dealt with people like this. You get into these word games. It's like it goes nowhere. It's just a circular of illogic.
Actually, Congress passed a law July 8th of this year that nobody in the United States needs a driver license unless they're dealing in commerce.
Okay, if that was true, we would not. That rule would be so widely published, and there would be so many videos out there of people saying, fuck you, coppers. I don't need a motherfucking license. And I would be one of them. If Congress passed that law, I would be the first one to say, fuck you. The new law is, I don't need a driver's license. Fuck you. I would be the first one. And yet I haven't seen a bunch of those videos. Wow. I wonder why. Well, Rick, you're not looking and you don't know the law, and this guy's right, and you're just being a bootleg cop. Okay, you can believe what you want.
Have you all been informed of that?
I missed that one.
Well, of course, because you guys are revenuers for a foreign corporation.
I agree. Cops are freaking revenuers, and they're freaking punks, and they're out there just trying to tax people on the road and collect money and justify their jobs. I'm with him on that. I'm with this guy on a lot of things he says. I'm just saying he's lucky.
Running under statutes and codes. None of you have ever studied the law. Okay? So just admit that you don't have authority over me, hand me my passport, and say I'm sorry for impeding your travel.
Okay, raise your hand if you think cops are ever gonna say, I'm sorry, I was wrong, and you're free to go, and especially when they've got the law behind them. It just ain't gonna happen. It happens this time.
What do I need to give you to get you out of your vehicle?
Nothing. You ain't getting me out of this private.
So this cop does a good job, like, I'm trying everything I can not to escalate this. And they do. They do a lot. I mean, they go so far as to let the guy go get away and release him, not to escalate it. People are going to confuse that he was right and I can do the same thing. And I'm telling you, from my point of view, if you do what this guy does, make sure you got a video camera, because I'll be doing a video on you.
That automobile.
Okay.
Why would I? I haven't committed a crime.
I'm giving you a lawful option as a peace officer to step out of your vehicle.
You're doing what now?
Okay, so I don't know what happened here, where they got a phone call from the sheriff. Why is the highway patrol and sheriff here? I don't know the dynamics, and I have no idea on what's going on with these cops' mind and their thought process. So everything I'm saying they're doing, I'm kind of guessing.
Be right back, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
So they walk away, and then hold on, this guy stays here. I forgot.
You just parked this under a tree, huh?
What's that? Yeah.
Parked this under a tree?
Well, I had an old timer tell me once, they only sing for the rich.
I don't know what the hell that means. So you parked this under a tree. Yeah, I had an old timer say they only sing for the rich. What the hell does that mean? I mean, this guy's just kind of make conversation saying, look, I don't want to argue the law about you. He probably had some sap or something all over his truck, and the cop made an observation that, hey, you parked this under a tree. This could have been a sly way of this cop trying to get where he parks or where he's staying or where he lives. I don't know.
That's exactly what's going on right here.
I don't know what that means. Did he lay down or what he pointed to? I have no idea. I think the cop showed good restraint.
I ain't had no problems from anybody for 2 years.
For 2 years? This guy doesn't sound like a spring chicken. He's claiming victory for not having no problems in 2 years. You know what? If I go park in the mountains for 2 years, I probably won't have any problems either. But if you come drive on a highway and get pulled over and play this in most places, it's not going to end like it did for this guy.
More. Because they know I know.
Have you had contact with us in 2 years?
Yep. I sat down and had a talk with John.
I'm thinking John might be the sheriff. At some point, I think he says he talked to the sheriff.
Who's the sheriff?
Yeah.
Sheriff Harlan?
Yeah.
So, he's a corporal. He's not a sergeant. I'm sorry. So when people name drop and talk to the sheriff, never impressed me much. I don't really care. I never went, oh, you know the sheriff? Let me call him and make sure. And I don't give a shit. I don't care who you know or what you know. I do my job the right way, and it is what it is. And if somebody gets their panties in a knot because they're a friend and I didn't call them, well, tough shit. I don't call people because people know people.
When did you go talk to him?
A couple years ago, explaining the same stuff.
Before he was sheriff? When he was lieutenant?
He was actually just, I think that vote had just happened when I went in and had a conference with him.
So he talked to him when he was lieutenant, before he was a sheriff, and the lieutenant was probably like, yeah, I understand. He doesn't want to piss off, the community, the voting members.
So he was like, I forget what they call it, undersheriff maybe at the time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But
all right, so I'll cut all this out. I'm going to bump through here.
he's here. Would you like to read that? That's what you're doing. 241, 242. And you read my passport and you didn't let me go.
So he's trying to use something written on a napkin to get the cops to let him go because he's got a couple of laws. I think he's there's some federal law about detaining or whatever. I mean, look, people, state law has their state law and federal law has their federal law. And, bank robbery is an example. It's a federal crime, but the states enforce it and they respond to it and they arrest you and then they charge you in the feds. Even though states aren't supposed to enforce federal law. Federal law is supposed to be enforced by federal authorities. So that, holding up this federal state thing, unfortunately, it doesn't mean nothing. Like I said, I agree with a lot of things this guy's saying and I wish he was right, but he's lucky.
So we're looking at 1.6 million on commercial liens. I don't want to do that to you. I don't want to do it to anybody.
Okay.
Berris, B-E-R-R-I-S.
B-E-R-R-I-S.
It's in the passport you stole.
Okay, we didn't steal your...
That's kind of provoking. That's kind of words that are used to accuse. It's accusatory. I mean, if he'd have just said it's in the passport, it would have been less escalating. It's in the passport you stole. You start accusing cops of crimes, and then you say they have egos. Really?
Passport.
Well, then may I have my passport
You'll get everything back. What I need you to do, okay, so I'm going to tell you. Okay, so you're driving without a driver's license, you're speeding, you don't have plates on your vehicle. Okay, so what I'm going to do...
Sounds like you're speeding, you don't have a driver's license, and you don't have plates on the vehicle. Is that what he said? So we have 3 different violations. This car should not be on the road. He's got no plates. And I know some people will be pissed about this, but when people drive without plates because they assert this, whatever they're asserting, you're paying taxes and you register your vehicle and they don't, and they're using the roadways. The purpose of registering vehicles, and I don't agree with it. I mean, I don't give a shit. I think the real purpose is so they can track you and run you, and it's a tracking. It's a registration. It's just like gun registration. They're making you register your car so they can track you. Now, I'm not saying I agree with it, but it's the law right now. So either elect people that change the law, but when you try to fight the law on the side of the road, you're going to lose most time.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, I need you to get out of the vehicle to chat with us. Otherwise, I'm going to ask you to get out of the car. So right now I'm asking you, will you please get out of the car and speak with us?
No, I will not.
Okay, I'm going to tell you to get out of the car. You need to get out of the car right now.
You're being recorded.
That's fine.
See, he deflected him. He deflected him, and then these guys get distracted and they don't stay on course. Now I just gave you an order to get out and you refuse an order. Next thing should have been, okay, now I'm placing you under arrest for obstruction and impeding my investigation. You're under arrest. You need to get out of the car so I can handcuff you, or we're going to use force to come in and handcuff you. Right now, you are no longer detained. You are under arrest. That's what should have been said.
Okay, and under what authority are you demanding an American state national to get out of this vehicle when I don't have...
That's where I would have cut it off. We ain't having this conversation, dude. This is the part where I talk and you listen. You're under arrest. It's a lawful arrest. You're driving without a license. You don't have registration. You either get out of the car or we're using force to come in and effect this arrest. Your choice.
Have to prove any kind of... I am not in your corporate bylaws. I don't need driver's licenses.
That's fine. I respect your beliefs. But
it's not a belief, you guys. Okay, this ain't beliefs.
Yeah, it totally is a belief, but whatever.
This next time, I'm going to make you get out of the car. What that means, I'm going to break the window, unlock the vehicle, and pull you out.
Good. I think I missed this first time. Sorry. Good for him.
Understand?
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Okay. I'm telling you.
I am telling you, if you do that, this is going to go south quick.
Okay, that can be construed as a threat. It'll be construed as a, he's already saying he's not only is he refusing to get out, not only is he obstruction, now he's making threats that it's going to go south. What does that mean? Is he going to shoot me? Is he going to stab me? Is he going to, does he have a bomb in the car? I don't know. I'm not saying they could have reacted and pointed a gun. I'm just saying this doesn't make him look good when this goes to court. And the jury is going to hear this and they're saying, hey, you obviously were the primary aggressor. You were escalating this. The cops were being, and the cops should be doing just what they're doing. Making it clear, try not to escalate.
Okay. I don't want it to go south.
Well, don't be fucking breaking into my private property or stealing my private property.
Okay, then help us out, sir.
I've already helped you. I've educated you about the law, but you're not listening. Okay. You're not accepting the facts, okay?
We're not.
Now, I'm going to ask you one more time. I would like my passport back. I would like to get on my way.
Does everybody see how the cops are allowing him to take control every once in a while? Every time he gets backed in a corner, they allow him to feel like he's in control. To me, it's almost like they're setting him up to fail a little bit, but they're trying to be understanding and not escalate. This is one of those situations that it's tough and it's hard to tell. I think the cops did a good job.
Hey, I have critters with water freezing.
Well, right there, I'm kind of pissed off that you're going to risk getting in a shootout over this shit, and your critters are going to die now because you're not going to be there because you want to get in a fight over this and threaten to shoot out over this bullshit. So I got a problem with you there, Mr. Berris.
We don't have time for this.
Okay, sir. I'm telling you, if we have to, we will break the window, unlock the vehicle, and pull you out. Do you want it to get to that, or do you want to come out and talk to us?
Okay, so you're threatening...
Yes, you can call it what you want. Get out of the fucking car. Rick, you're a big bootleg, whatever.
To break my private property.
I'm telling you that
and
I have
do you know
Yes, not only am I breaking it, I'm going to break it good, and it's going to be fucking trashed. Now, are we clear? Any other questions?
The law...
Take you out of this vehicle if you do not comply with our orders.
I don't have to comply with your orders.
Yes.
All right, here we go.
No, I do not.
Yes, sir.
I do not.
They're still calling him sir, and they've done everything they could not to escalate this.
Okay, so what are we going to do here?
We're going to have a gunfight on the side of the road is what we're going to have.
Oh, shit. Here we go. He brought up the G word. Yo, gun people. Look. I like this guy's spirit. I like his freedom attitude. But this is not how you fight a tyrannical government on the side of the road when they have you outnumbered and you're not prepared and you got critters at home that need you to feed them. This is not how to do it, people. All right?
Do not need to have a gun.
Well, then you better start listening to sense.
You need to start listening.
Does anybody not see that as a threat? That we're going to have a gunfight? Is there anybody out there that says, Rick, it wasn't a threat and he was just expressing his opinion and maybe he was talking about a squirt gunfight? No, hell no. As soon as he said gunfight, it's gun time. When you mention gunfight, my gun's coming out of my holster. I ain't going to be the last one at a gunfight without a gun in a hand.
Listening.
No, sir. I do not need to listen to an agent of a foreign corporation.
Okay.
Okay? I asked you guys to go back there and call somebody in town that actually knows the law.
Who's this person in town that knows the law?
Apparently somebody.
See, when you give these guys an inch, you'll never get anywhere because they will go back to that circular of illogic.
I would try with John Harlan as the sheriff and ask him.
John Harlan, okay.
And ask him.
Okay, well, we have a representative of the sheriff's office right here. And he was talking to you.
I know, but...
So it sounds like the guy talking to him now is a highway patrol, and he's saying they have a sheriff guy there. I'm thinking, again, I'm guessing. There's not a lot of information here.
That don't mean he knows the actual law.
Look, I'm not trying to get anybody riled up, and I apologize for doing that. What I'm trying to do is find...
Cops being very polite, very de-escalating. These cops are really doing a good job.
Find an ending to this that's civil for both of us.
Here's a simple ending. You guys admit that you have no authority over me.
We can't do that, sir.
Well, I'm sorry you can't do that.
Actually, they end up doing that. And I don't know why. Other than, again, I'm guessing, they called somebody and said, this isn't worth a gunfight and shooting him. He's a crazy guy that wants to freaking quote the law and argue all the time. Let's just put out a warrant and we'll arrest him later. We know who he is. Which I'm not sure is a bad call. I mean, personally, I don't think cops ought to be arresting people unless it's violent. That gives cops too much authority. I think they should always have to let things go, refer the report to the DA, and if the DA feels like he wants to prosecute, then they can get a warrant, notify the citizen, hey, you got a warrant, you need to come to court. If you don't, the warrant will go in the system or we'll arrest you. And you go to court and go, okay, I'm turning myself in. You got a warrant, let's go to court. That's the way I think it should be run, but it ain't. I'm not king.
Okay. Well,
but I am not going to allow you to violate my rights to travel. I will not.
Actually, they already did violate your right to travel because you stopped. And you gave them a passport. No, Rick, they have no authority over him. Okay.
Allow you to damage my private property.
Okay.
Okay? I'm telling you right now.
I don't want to damage your private property. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
I don't want to at all.
Okay.
All I want you to do is get out of the vehicle so we can talk.
See, this is kind of misleading. Look, you're going to get out of the vehicle. I'm towing your vehicle, and I'm giving you a ticket. That's what they're going to do, and that's what they ought to tell them. I don't like this, get out of the vehicle, let's try to trick them out. At some point, look, I'm just honest in your face. Look, dude, you're getting a freaking ticket, and we're towing the car. You got no plates, you got no business on the road. Sorry, I'm not playing this shit. Your car's getting towed, and you're getting a ticket. Now, you can either get a ticket and have your car towed, or you can make us force entry, and then you get arrested, and then you go to jail, and you get a ticket, and you get charges, and your car is still towed. So you get to choose. Rick, you're a big bootleg. Whatever.
That's it. That is it. And I won't damage your private property. Nothing.
Not happening. Okay. I don't have to get out of this vehicle.
Okay, so why are we coming to this? Why are we butting heads there? Why don't you?
Because you guys are not listening to the matter of fact of law. That's why.
To the matter of fact of law.
It's called the matter of fact of law.
Okay.
The fact of that matter is you have zero authority over me. Where I'm going to travel, how I'm going to do it.
Wow, this guy sounds like he really knows the law. I think we should just go home. I think we should not enforce any laws anymore, and we should call this guy and ask him. Come on.
What I'm going to do it in, and what placards I place on said private automobile.
Okay.
Okay?
Just give me 1 second, okay?
This ain't going to...
Why are you threatening to get in a gunfight?
So this guy, again, these cops do a good job. He's kind of like, dude, man, why do you, and you know, I've done this before where people like want to escalate something. It's like, dude, why do you want to call us names? Why do you want to threaten to get in a gunfight? Why are you making this the last stand over this? But they're not really being honest with him, telling them their intent is to tow this car. He's got no plates. They're towing the car and he's getting a ticket.
Because I'm not going to allow him to fucking violate my shit, dude. I'm not allowing them to violate my right to travel freely. And
I would have said, is this worth dying over, dude? Is this really worth dying over? You got guns, we got guns. Is this really worth escalating into a gunfight because of this? And if he said, hell yeah, this is the hill I'm dying on, then so be it.
Damage my private property because I won't listen to a so-called authority that has none over me? Really? And I've explained myself over and over?
So if we got somebody on the phone, you'd talk to somebody?
There ain't nothing to talk about.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured.
I mean, they're like, they are trying all kind of shit. And like I said, they let this guy go.
You wouldn't want to talk to anybody?
There's nobody to talk to about anything. What is there to talk to? You guys not admitting that you have no authority over me? Is that what it is?
If I admit that I have no authority, will you get out of the car? You already gave me your passport. You stopped for the red lights.
You said you wanted to talk to Sheriff Harlan.
I don't want to talk to Sheriff. I've already talked to him. I've talked to all your judges, your state's attorneys. State's attorneys know. I sent them cease and desist. Shit disappeared. Why? Because I know the law.
Okay, maybe he thinks he's right. Maybe they did. I don't believe that for a second. I don't believe there's any state attorney in the freaking country that if somebody sends them a cease and desist and I don't work for you and the cops have no authority over me and they're going to go, oh, we'll drop all the charges then. According to this guy, he can go out and just kill people, and nobody has authority over him.
This is absolutely ludicrous. This is supposed to be America? Where's my right to travel freely, you guys?
Well,
Where's that at right
we'll make
now?
some phone calls and see what we can do here, okay?
Very cooperative cops doing the right thing. They're spending time and taking time not to escalate and fight this dude and shoot him. Good for them.
Well, common sense should prevail, and I'm counting on the sheriff's department for that.
Okay. You know,
Actually, I think these feathers hanging on his mirror is another violation because it obstructs his view. But I don't want to get into that. Somebody will really be freaking out.
Having a powwow.
Mr. Berris, I'm just not sure that this is worth dying over. But if it is for you, it's America, and you're free to die over whatever you want.
3 LEOs that don't even know the law. Yes, sir. Can I do for you?
all right, sir. Here's your passport back. Can you roll it down a little bit further? You just want me to slide it in there?
Just slide her in here.
Okay, so this is back. Did you already pull those out? Okay.
Did you already pull those out? I think he put spike trips on his tires. So if he drove away, it was going to flatten his tires.
Free to go for now, okay?
What'd you do to
Free to go for now, meaning they're probably going to put a warrant out for him. But maybe not.
my car?
We didn't do anything to your car.
Okay, I got it on film here.
He doesn't know when he said, is that out? They were removing spike strips because they placed spike strips on the tires so he wouldn't run away.
Okay.
There's nothing sabotaged on my private vehicle.
Nothing sabotaged on your vehicle.
Dude, when you're in a hole, stop digging. You won. They gave you your passport and you're free to go, and you want to stay and argue about freaking your car. Dude, you are a victim looking for a place to happen. You need to take a win. I hope this guy comes on my live, man. I mean, I really like this guy. I hope this doesn't seem like I'm being disrespectful to him. I'm just having a hard time understanding what hill he's going to die on.
Vehicle.
All right, so you guys have a nice day.
Okay, we'll see you around.
Alrighty, so that's my take, and you guys can beat me up in a comment if you think I'm a tyrannical wrong guy and this guy is right, and you know I should be beat up or whatever. All right, we'll end that there, y'all. Have a good one. I thought this was a good learning opportunity here.